What's up? What's up? Hello and welcome to the first ever tournament of the National Football Simulator League. We have 32 teams battling for the title of Supreme Bowl champions. They're divided into two conferences, the Athletic Football Conference AFC and the Nationwide Football Conference NFC, and each broken down into their divisions. The competition for division and conference champions is conducted in a round robin format where each team in the division competes against every other team at least once. The team with the best record at the end of the stage advances to the next round. In the event of a tie, the team that has scored the most points throughout the competition will move forward. Today, we kick off things with the AFC East. Our first game features the Buffalo Nickels hosting the New England Pilgrims. Jerry Cornell comes out firing, connecting with Sidney Costin for a 35-yard gain. He backs up and he hits him again on the sideline for another beautiful catch. Then Cornell finds Sanders over the middle and brings them down to the 1-yard line. MJ Tyler then powers through for a short yard touchdown, spinning around and getting the 7 points on the board for the Nickels. Now back to the Pilgrims, who struggle to find their rhythm against the Nickels defense, going 3 and out. The Nickels seize the momentum and Cornell launches a deep ball to Chris Turner. The Nickels get their run game going and get themselves inside the 15. Cornell then starts to feel a little ambitious and he goes for it all in the end zone just to get picked off by Ryan Hardy in the end zone. And that brings the first quarter to a close. As the second quarter starts, the Pilgrims attempt to establish their run game, navigating through missed tackles. On the next play, Horseback connects with Tunsil, who makes a remarkable catch behind his back for a solid gain, only to be stopped by a shoestring tackle from Golden. Horseback finds his groove, rolling out and hitting Miles Nelson in stride for a huge touchdown pass and putting them on the board and tying the game at 7 apiece. Cornell remains poised in the pocket, taking a hit but delivering a perfect strike to his go-to target, Sidney Costin. The Nickels then spread the field, with Cornell hitting Derek Sanders on a post route down to the 10-yard line. They lean in on their run game and get a few yards with MJ Tyler down to the 5. Markel then attempts to push through, hitting a brick wall and down at the 1-yard line. However, they regroup and they punch it in for a touchdown, reclaiming the lead just before halftime. The Pilgrims, desperate to score before the break, can't seem to gain any traction against the Nickels defense. As we head into halftime, the Nickels hold the advantage, 14-7. The third quarter kicks off and the Pilgrims strike quickly with a deep ball to Ronald Tunsil, who takes it 70 yards for a touchdown and tying the game again at 14 apiece. Cornell responds by finding Turner on a sideline route but gets leveled on the play. Markel shows off his agility with impressive runs, and the Nickels rely heavily on their ground game. The drive is going strong until Cornell has a major malfunction and gets a big hit from Antonio Jamar. They then have to settle for 3. The Pilgrims capitalize on the momentum with another big play, this time to Kenyon Luke for a touchdown. And doing a little dance before he runs into the end zone, extending their lead to 21-17. The Nickels, now needing to respond, face a tough defense and are quickly 3 and out, giving the ball back to the Pilgrims. The Pilgrims just run a few run plays and run out the clock. And just like that, they're the winners of the game, 21-17. That puts the Pilgrims at 1-0 and the Nickels at 0-1 for the start of the tournament. Now we move on to the second game in the series, where we got the Miami Kites hosting the New York Bullets. Matt Goosen kicks things off with a bang, launching a deep pass to Jabril Teray for a stunning 55-yard touchdown. And the Kites take an early lead, and now the pressure shifts over to the Bullets. Elijah Edmonds finds ways to escape the heat, connecting with Jawan Harrison near the first down marker. Edmonds is picked off by Josh Duran. With the momentum in the Kites' hands, Goosen hands it off to Drew John, who catches the Bullets defense off guard, sprinting for a 57-yard touchdown run. And then by the end of the first quarter, the Kites are winning 14-0. Back to the Bullets, and they're trying to respond. Jason Fatai makes a solid run, pushing them into the red zone, but the drive stalls and they settle for a field goal and putting 3 points on the board. Bullets kick off to Drew John, cutting through the defenders once again, and then he puts them even in better field position than the last time, down to the 50. Goosen connects with Teray again, and this time for a 38-yard reception, moving them deep into the red zone. Goosen rolls out almost 10 yards, but he catches Morgan Jr. for an easy touchdown and extends their lead to 21-3 at halftime. For the third quarter, the Bullets come out in the second half looking to turn the tide. Edmonds evades a near sack and finds Harrison along the sidelines with a beautiful throw. The drive stalls and they're forced to punt. But they tried to do a fake punt, but Zach Washington just can't get to the sideline and he's hunted down by Denzel Huber. Somehow the Bullets still get this first down. I guess they must be in the ref's pocket or something. Next play, Edmond connects with LaVishka Heron for a key first down. LaMarcus McCason's ruled just short for the end zone. The next play, Harrison punches it in and brings the score 21-10 at the end of the third quarter. The Kites regain possession and Goosen targets Danny Justice on a nice comeback route and down at the 10. He floats one into the end zone but is knocked away at the last second. The Bullets defense holds strong and the Kites have to settle for 3, bringing the score 24-10. The Bullets, now in desperation mode, launch their comeback. Edmonds connects with Morgan Jr. again, setting them up in great position to score. On the very next play, Blake Nasecki finds the end zone, narrowing the gap 24-17. Despite all that fight from the Bullets, the Kites still hold on to the 24-17 victory, putting them 1-0 while the Bullets fall to 0-1 in the standings. Now we head over to New England, where the Pilgrims are hosting the Miami Kites in a matchup of the 1-0 teams. The Kites kick things off and Matt Goosen connects with Danny Justice early on for a 30-yard reception. Unfortunately, the drive stalls, forcing them to settle for a field goal, but they're on the board first, leading 3-0 as we wrap up the first quarter. Second quarter starts and now it's the Pilgrims' turn. Hulsback escapes pressure like a magician, finding Miles Nelson wide open along the sideline for a spectacular 60-yard touchdown pass. The Pilgrims take a lead 7-3. Later on in the quarter, their drive stalls, but they manage to put up another field goal, extending their lead 10-3 as we head into halftime. For the second half, the Kites receive the ball and Goosen strikes again, hitting Blake Smith in stride. Unfortunately, their drive stalls and the Kites have to settle for another field goal, closing the gap 10-6. Back to the Pilgrims. Hulsback is once again Houdini in the pocket, evading pressure to find KJ Price, who makes an unbelievable catch off of Michael Williams' back. Hulsback then connects with Kenyon Luke for a massive gain, but he isn't done yet. On the next play, he runs backwards for 35 yards and somehow still finds Daniel Claybrooks for the first down inside the 5-yard line. That ends the third quarter, and the fourth quarter starts with Ronald Tunsil running it in for the Pilgrims, putting them up 2 possessions 17-6 early in the fourth. Now in desperation mode, the Kites know they need to act fast. Goosen connects with Blake Smith for a huge touchdown, narrowing the score to 17-13 with just over 3 minutes left in the game. The Pilgrims' next drive stalls, giving the Kites another shot to steal the win. Goosen narrowly avoids a sack, finding Justice for a crucial first down. He hands it off to Austin Durbo, who gains some valuable yards, inching them closer to the red zone. Goosen goes for the end zone, but the pass is deflected. He takes a shot to the corner, but it's too strong. The Kites tried to re-establish their run game, but it's tough sledding. On fourth down and a surprising decision, they opt to kick a field goal instead of going for the touchdown that would win the game. The Pilgrims hold on to 17-16, improving their record to 2-0 while the Kites fall to 1-1. We move on to the fourth game in the series, where the Buffalo Nickels are taking on the New York Bullets in East Rutherford. The first quarter starts with the Bullets coming out strong with Elijah Edmonds enjoying all day in the pocket. He finds Malik Herbert for a big gain, putting them inside the 20-yard line. On the very next play, Edmonds connects with LaMarcus Mason, who powers through his defender into the end zone, and the Bullets strike first, taking an early lead. Now it's the Nickels' turn. Cornell finds Derek Sanders in stride for an over 30-yard gain, moving them into Bullets territory. He follows it up by finding Larkin for a first down inside the 15. Cornell stands strong in the pocket and takes a massive hit as he throws. Rudy Lazar almost makes the reception, but Tim Harris delivers a crushing blow, knocking the ball out loose. As the first quarter comes to a close, the Bullets lead 7-0, but the Nickels are knocking on the door. Second quarter, Cornell connects with Chris Turner on the left side, bringing them inside the 5-yard line. They switch Turner to the other side, and Cornell hits him again for the Nickels' first touchdown. The game is tied at 7 apiece. The Bullets get the ball back, and Edmonds faces pressure but manages to find Mason with a beautiful pass for a big gain. He then connects with Laviska Heron, who fights off Golden for another first down. The drive stalls and they settle for a field goal, putting the Bullets back in the lead 10-7. The Nickels respond, starting their drive with a run game and securing a huge first down to the 50. Cornell finds Turner downfield, advances them to the 10. He takes a shot for the end zone, but is caught out of bounds. and the Nickels trail at halftime, but they'll receive the ball to start the third quarter. Third quarter starts and Cornell comes out strong, hitting Shamar Reeder on the sideline, who dodges two defenders for a 65-yard touchdown, and the Nickels take the lead 14-10. That's the end of the third quarter, and the Bullets are looking to respond. They drive down the field, with Edmonds finding Herbert again, bringing them down to the 15-yard line. It's fourth down now inside the 10, and the pressure is on. Edmonds throws for the end zone, but the Nickels defense stands tall, denying the Bullets and turning it over on downs. Cornell and the Nickels manage to hold off the Bullets and secure a hard-fought victory, finishing 14-10. The Nickels improve 1-1, while the Bullets drop 0-2 in the standings. Now on to the fifth game in the series, where the New England Pilgrims are hosting the New York Bullets that just came off of a loss. The first quarter starts, and the Pilgrims come out strong, with Hulsback handed off to Kenyon Luke for a powerful 20-yard run. They march down the field methodically, and Ronald Tunsil runs it in for the first score of the game, putting the Pilgrims on the board first. The Bullets respond quickly, with Elijah Edmonds finding LaMarcus Mason for a 56-yard touchdown, tying the game at 7 apiece by the end of the first quarter. The Pilgrims aren't deterred. Juan Austin breaks free with some beautiful blocking downfield, racking up a solid 20-yard gain. Hulsback then connects with Higgins in stride for a big gain down to the 25. However, the drive stalls, and they have to give the ball back to the Bullets, who now have a chance to take the lead. Edmonds finds LaVisca Heron, who runs a great route along the sideline. Edmonds targets him again, and Heron fights through a tackle for another big gain. That ends the second quarter, and we reach halftime with both teams tied at 7. The third quarter starts with the Bullets getting the ball, and Edmonds finds Herbert on the sideline for a decent gain. But unfortunately, the Pilgrims' defense holds strong, forcing the Bullets to settle for a field goal, putting them ahead 10-7. The Pilgrims quickly get back to work. Hulsback finds Higgins again for an 18-yard gain, and later targets him in the middle of the field for another big gain. And that ends the third quarter. The fourth quarter starts with Hulsback takes a shot for Benson, but the pass is caught just out of bounds. The Pilgrims try to establish their run game, but Austin is tripped up at the 2-yard line. They target Higgins again near the goal line, but he's met with minimal gain. Hulsback escapes the pressure and finds tight end Elijah Harris for a touchdown, and the Pilgrims take the lead 14-10. With 2 minutes left in the game, the Bullets have a chance to respond. Edmonds targets Malik Herbert, who makes a great catch down to the 50-yard line. The Bullets then utilize their run game with Jawan Harrison, who breaks through for a significant gain up the middle. Edmonds, feeling the pressure, finds Herbert again along the sideline, advancing to around the 20. They stick with the run game, with Vitae gaining a short yard. Harrison gets another touch, driving them down to the 6-yard line. He gets another touch and he fights his way down to the 1. And then Vitae powers it in for an easy touchdown, giving the Bullets the lead. The Bullets end up holding on to this win 17-14. With this victory, the Bullets improve 1-2 while the Pilgrims fall 2-1. Now we head to Miami, where we have the 6th and final game of the series to see who advances to the next stage. The Kites get the ball first, with Goosen quickly showcasing his skills, escaping pressure and connecting with Danny Justice. However, Justice is just out of bounds on that one. Goosen finds him again on the opposite side for a short gain. Goosen then hits Jabril Touré in the middle of the field for a big gain, setting up the Kites inside the 10. Then they try the run game, handing it off to Austin Durbo, who powers it in for the Kites' first touchdown. The Nickels now have their chance to respond. Cornell finds Sidney Costin over the middle for a substantial gain, just past the 50. He then throws it into traffic and by sheer luck is deflected to Chris Turner for another gain. Cornell goes back to his favorite target, Turner, and brings the Nickels down to the 15 as the first quarter ends with the Kites up 7-0. The second quarter starts with Cornell targeting Larkin near the end zone, but the ball gets knocked out of his hands. He tries a QB sneak, but he's swiftly denied. Derek Sanders is then targeted near the pylon, and the refs rule it a touchdown, tying the game at 7 apiece. The Kites respond by going straight to their run game, with Drew John getting a decent gain up the middle. Goosen then throws it into traffic, and luckily his tight end Denzel Huber makes a fantastic catch around the 50. They hand it off to Maurice Martin, who shreds a tackle for another big gain. Goosen then drops a beautiful pass to Van Alden along the sideline after spending all day in the pocket. They try an outside run, but they don't really get much. Next, they try to do a misdirection play, faking a handoff to Martin and giving it to Shandon Jennings, who runs it down to the 1. Denzel Huber is then found in the end zone, putting the Kites back in the lead 14-7 right before halftime. The third quarter starts with the Nickels coming out strong, with Costin breaking a tackle and taking it up the sideline near the 40. Cornell finds Turner again, and he's denied a touchdown by a simple shoestring tackle. But Turner wouldn't be denied for long, and he's found in the end zone, tying the game up at 14 apiece. The Kites quickly respond with a 20-yard reception by Danny Justice. There's finally some pressure put onto Goosen, but he still finds Blake Smith in the middle of the field, who makes defenders miss and takes it into the end zone, putting the Kites back in the lead at 21-14 as the third quarter comes to a close. The Kites defense puts some pressure on Cornell, where he barely avoids it and finds Mike Markell for a crucial first down. He then has all day in the pocket and finds Costin again for another touchdown, tying the game up at 21-21. The Kites try to respond with a decent run by Drew John. They hand it off again, but Darbo gets upended. Goosen finds Danny Justice on a beautiful right for a big first down. They couldn't find the end zone, and the game goes into overtime. In overtime, the Kites get the ball first, and they break a big run with Drew John. Goosen then connects with Touré, putting them in first and goal. John runs it in and puts the Kites up 28-21. The Nickels aren't deterred, and they're not done yet. Cornell launches a bomb down the sideline to Chris Turner, who's being held onto by Barry for dear life. Cornell then connects with Larkin for a big gain in the middle. He has all day in the pocket once again and finds Costin for another touchdown, tying the game again. Now we head into double overtime. In double overtime, the Kites once again take possession first. Mason Quinton breaks a big run down the sideline with Gallimore making a touchdown saving tackle. Goosen hands it off to Durbo, who fights for every yard. Goosen shoots for the end zone, but misses his target. They try another run, but Drew John is stopped. Takes another shot, but is missed. Forcing them to kick a field goal. Now it's the Nichols' turn to win. Their run game is stuffed. Then Cornell finds Shamar Reeder near the 50, getting them a little bit closer. They try their run game again, but it's well defended. Cornell then finds Markel, but it's too little too late as the clock runs out. The Kites hold on to win 31-28 in double overtime. The victory brings the Kites record 2-1, while the Nichols drop 1-2. At the end of 6 games, the Miami Kites and the New England Pilgrims both finished with a record of 2 wins and 1 loss. However, the Kites scored a total of 71 points compared to the Pilgrims' 52, earning them the AFC East Division title and a spot in the next stage of the competition. In our next video, we'll dive into the AFC North to see who comes out on top in that division. Let me know in the comments what your favorite play from the series was. And as always, I appreciate your support. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Peace out.